Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on WandaVision. And this will be my breakdown for episode 4, and wow, this episode has it all. So much mystery has been established over the past few episodes, and wow, do we get some answers in this episode. And obviously for this video, I'll be going over everything. I'll be explaining the ending scene, I'll be breaking down the episode, and I'll be going over some Easter eggs as well. This breakdown will be up on both channels, so both my Marvel channel as well as my Flashverse channel, which is my main channel. But obviously, spoiler alert, if you haven't caught up with WandaVision, you have been warned, and also be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Marvel content coming your way. Okay, so this episode of WandaVision kicks off in the real world, and we start off with Monica Rambeau waking up in the hospital as her body slowly starts to reform after the events of Hulk's snap during Avengers Endgame, where he obviously brought everyone back. And well, there is panic since in the building the people who have vanished 5 years ago start to reappear. But we find out that Monica is looking for her mother, and we soon learn that Monica was sitting by her mother's bedside when she disappeared. And the doctor tells Monica that while Maria's surgery was a success 5 years ago, the cancer has returned and she actually died 3 years ago. So this leads me to believe that Monica's mother was one of the people that have survived Thanos' snap during Avengers Infinity War, and Monica was the one that got clicked off. And then obviously when Monica starts to come back and she's back after Hulk's snap, she doesn't remember. She's in huge confusion because she's obviously been snapped away for 5 years. So Monica's obviously in denial of that. She's like, wait, how is this even possible? But we then head to SWORD headquarters and we see Monica meeting with director Tyler Hayward, and we learn that Monica's mother, Maria, actually founded this organization, which was very interesting. But it's been through a lot of changes in the past 5 years and is now more about protecting Earth over exploring space. And Monica does also drop a Captain Marvel reference, as well as she does mention allies out there in space, so that's obviously Captain Marvel. But director Hayward tells Monica that she's been grounded and sends her to Westview, New Jersey to investigate a missing person case with the FBI. We then have Monica meeting with FBI agent Jimmy Woo, who we last saw during Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she speaks to a couple of local cops who insist Westview isn't a real place. Now the town has essentially gone missing, despite the fact that it's sitting right there and they could see it in the view. And after sending a drone into Wanda's reality, the drone vanishes. So Monica starts to question this. She's like, wait, how is this possible? So then she starts to explore the site, and then when she puts her hand and touches the barrier, she gets sucked into Wanda's reality, and we obviously get the reveal in regards to how Monica ended up in Wanda's reality in the first place. Now SWORD then arrives on the scene a day later after Monica goes missing, and we have Dr. Darcy Lewis, who we last saw from Thor 1, I believe. It could have been Thor the Dark World as well, I can't really remember. But she has been brought in to help them figure out what's going on, as she is someone who specializes in astrophysics, and she picks up a strange frequency in this device that she's using, and she's able to notice Wanda Maximoff over there. And then she obviously asks people for like a 1950s TV so she could actually see what is going on, because she has this theory that like Wanda is in this TV reality. She tunes into the sitcom that we've been watching these past few episodes, so episode 1, 2, and 3. Now Darcy also comes across something interesting, where she also figured out that there's radiation which can be backtraced to the Big Bang, and I'm guessing that has something to do with Wanda's powers. I'm not entirely sure, but the team starts to identify each of the characters on the show, and indeed they are real people. We find out through what they're investigating. One thing I find very interesting is that everyone has been identified and they all have a real identity, but Agnes doesn't. So something is up over there, and I'm very interested to see what is going on. But we then have them spot Monica Rambeau during the events of episode 2 as they're watching that, and then it's Darcy and Jimmy who attempt to contact Wanda through the radio from episode 2. And then on their end, however, they don't see everything we do, because with the broadcast it's being censored, and that is obviously the case due to like the time glitches and stuff that are happening, and basically Wanda is erasing these events that are making everyone suspicious in that fake reality. We also learned that at this point that the mysterious beekeeper was indeed just a SWORD agent, as I predicted in that other episode due to the logo behind him. He basically transformed after passing through the hexagonal barrier surrounding the town. We do then have Darcy and Jimmy Woo watching episode 3 that we saw last week until they notice that Monica has her memories back, as she was able to name drop Ultron. And then we head back into the sitcom and we learn that Wanda is very much in control of her actions. And as I said from the very beginning, it is indeed Wanda that is doing all of this. She is the one creating this fake reality. But we obviously have Wanda yeet Monica off this fake reality, as we saw in last week's episode, and she mentions that because she's like a threat and she's like a trespasser and she doesn't belong in her world. And then she damages the house after she uses her powers to blast Monica out of this reality. However, she quickly repairs the house and the hole that she's made until Vision walks in. Now here's where things start to get very, very interesting. As Vision walks in after talking with Agnes and the other guy during the events of last episode, he obviously comes in and asks Wanda, "Where is Monica?" And then Wanda turns around and she looks at Vision. However, Vision doesn't look the same. He's grayed out and he has a hole on his forehead from where Thanos tore out the Infinity Stone. But when she looks back up at Vision, he is normal again. For those who don't know, there was going to be a post-credit scene after Avengers Endgame. And essentially it's a scene where we have Wanda taking Vision's body and she does something to it. This would have tied into the event of WandaVision, but obviously we never saw that post-credit scene, as they just wanted it to be like a nice ending for the Avengers, the original Avengers. But from this you can tell that in this fake reality, Wanda has also recreated Vision so she could live that perfect happy life that she never got to live before. Now we then have Vision saying that they don't have to stay here, they could go somewhere else wherever they want, and Wanda replies, "No, we can't. This is our home." And then we obviously have her assuring the fact to Vision that she has everything under control. And that is obviously the case because as this is the only area where Vision can be alive. This is the only reality where Wanda gets to live with Vision. Because if they go out from this reality, well, Wanda will have nothing again, because in the real reality, Vision is obviously dead. And we obviously got a hint to that in this episode with the torn Mind Stone and obviously him being grayed out. So everything that's going over here, it's fake. And Wanda is basically keeping Vision over here so she could live with him. And we then cut to the original reality and we have Monica waking up from being yeeted out, and she tells Jimmy that it's Wanda, it's all Wanda. As Wanda and Vision sit together on the couch together, they look at their children, but Vision looks confused, and then that is where the episode ends. So first of all, I called it. I said it from the very beginning that Wanda is the one who has created this fake reality to live her perfect life. But one thing we now have is Vision slowly starting to get suspicious going into episode 5, because we obviously have that event where Agnes starts to say don't say it, because the other guy was about to slip and the doctor was saying there's no escape. And adding on to that, Wanda's obviously acting weird as well. So Vision starts to get suspicious, and I'm guessing that will play a huge role going into episode 5. But overall, this is the best episode so far. So much enjoyable stuff, so much stuff being revealed, and I really enjoyed this episode. I cannot wait to see what they have planned for episode 5. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought about this episode. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.